Welcome back, book buddies. Today we are going to read a Thomas and Friends book. This book is called Nina's Balloon Blunder, and there's a nice balloon in the shape of a train. How cool. Let's go. Nina's Balloon Blunder. It's a sunny day on the island of Sodor. Thomas and Kana are chugging past an exciting-looking billboard. "I just love parades," said Kana. They were admiring the floats and giant balloons on the poster when Nina came whizzing alongside. They watched as a train floated into the sky. "Whoa, it's a flying train," laughed Thomas. "It's not a flying train," giggled Nina. "It's a train balloon that I get to hold in the parade later." Wow. They heard a honk and turned to see Emily rolling along. So Top Hat was riding in her passenger car. "Greetings, everyone. You three look ready for the Vicarstown Parade." "We are," said Thomas. "And I'm bringing this balloon," said Nina. "Wonderful," said Top Hat. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew his hat off his head. "Just be careful out there. It's a bit windy today." "I hope the wind doesn't blow the balloon away before the parade," said Thomas, sounding worried. "I'll whiz it through the mountain pass, where high rock walls will block the wind," Nina began. "Then we'll head through the forest, where the trees will keep the wind away. And lastly, I'll zip through the tunnel of Zoom, where the wind always stays outside." "Come on," said Nina, beginning to move down the track. "We better head to the mountains before it gets windier." But there were jagged cliffs on both sides of the narrow mountain pass. They were worried the balloon might pop. "I've got this," said Thomas, as he wedged himself between the rocks and the balloon. Poor Thomas. At last, Thomas, Kana, Nina, and the balloon arrived safely on the other side of the mountain and into a forest of trees gently swaying in the breeze. "That was tougher than I thought, but we're safe from the wind here," said Nina. "We may be safe from the wind," said Thomas, looking around at the crazily waving branches. "But what about the trees?" The spiky branches began to sway back and forth around the balloon, as Nina did her best to keep it out of her way. "If only we could get the wind to blow away from us," said Nina. "Maybe we can," said Thomas, who suddenly had a great idea. "Kana, I think it's time for a whoosh." Kana smiled and began to roll slowly backwards, and then, a moment later, zoomed ahead. Whoosh! As Kana's lightning speed forced the branches to bend away from them, Nina and Thomas rushed along the track, coming out of the other side of the forest just as the trees sprang back in place. "Thanks, Kana," said Nina. "It's a good thing we're almost at the tunnel of Zoom." As the friends got closer and closer to the tunnel entrance, they realized it looked too small. The balloon was not going to fit through. "The balloon is bigger than I thought," said Nina. Luckily, Thomas had another good idea. "Nina, you can go into the tunnel and we'll take care of the rest." Nina didn't look so sure, but chugged slowly into the tunnel. Thomas and Kana watched as the big balloon stopped Nina going any further. "Just follow me," said Thomas to Kana as he charged at full speed towards the balloon. Push! At last the balloon squeezed into the tunnel, and then a few seconds later popped out the other side, with Thomas and Kana rattling along close behind. Just as the friends were catching their breath, a gust of wind tugged the balloon up and snap went the string. "The balloon is getting away," shouted Nina. "It's going towards Lookout Mountain," shouted Thomas. "We can grab it from above." "But how are we going to hook it back into the string?" Nina puffed. Kana thought quickly. "Sandy and Carly have hooks," she said, speeding off. "I'll go get them." Thomas and Nina chugged toward Lookout Mountain. "Look," said Thomas. seeing his friends waiting on the track high above. The balloon isn't going the right way. Let's try and blow it towards them. They both puffed as hard as they could, pushing the balloon. As they watched, the balloon began to sail higher, gently floating closer and closer to the pig. Just as it was about to drift out of reach, Sandy reached out her claw and grabbed the string. "Don't worry, I got it," she said. "Come on," said Thomas, as he led the way up the winding track towards the others. Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind lifted the balloon even higher and dragged poor Sandy towards the edge. Carly gasped, "Hang on!" and rushed to grab Sandy with her crane hook. Now they were both in danger of toppling over the edge of Lookout Mountain. Oh no. "Help!" they shouted as all the engines behind coupled up together and rushed towards the help. They pulled as hard as they could until everyone was safely back on the track. "One balloon," said Carly at last, "ready for the parade." The tired but happy friends arrived at the parade just in time, so Top and the Hat was there to greet them. "Wonderful," he declared. "Let the parade begin." "Hey, you all want to help me carry the balloon in the parade?" asked Nina. "Absolutely," said Thomas with a smile. The end. Wow, that was a roller coaster of a book. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Do come back so we can read more books together. Please like and subscribe. Bye.